Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Industreleven Episode 5. This episode is going to be devoted entirely to forestry. Oh, crud, I've got some extra stuff in my inventory. Let me go ahead and put it up real quick. Hex are in this chest? Yeah. Keep the 2 water buckets for the time being. I'll need them later. Now, I have to admit, I do have a massive amount of crafting to do. So let me go ahead, grab what I can out of here. Let's see, I have my big list of stuff I need to craft for this episode. So let's begin. First off, I need bronze. So I need copper in my tin, right? Now, let me think. That is... So what I should be able to do is... Yeah. And 3 copper, 1 tin, it makes 4 bronze ingots. I have that extra 10 copper. That will come into play later on. Let's see. Now I need to turn all but 8 of these bronze ingots into 30 machines. Shift clicking is the way to go for that. Alright. Let me grab my, oh yeah, I already grabbed my glass out of there. Alright. Let's see, next up is the tin gears. I need 32 of those. No. Cobblestone first. And then I should be able to put tin around this to make tin gears? Yes. Now I can go ahead. I think it's tin in the corners. Glass on the sides. Yeah. And that gets me apiaries. 8 of them. Let's see. Next up is a scoop, I believe. Which, if memory serves me right, yes, that's the recipe for it. That scoop is going to allow me to harvest the, I think there's one, yeah. So this is a beehive right here, and with this scoop I can harvest it. And I get a queen bee, in this case a meadows queen. I hold on to that for the moment until I'm ready to lay down my apiaries. Alright. Next up is for copper and for glass. That gives me a peat bog. Let's see. For clay, clay's in here. For clay in the corners, gives me a turbary. And don't worry, I'll explain what each of these machines do when I'm ready to place them down. Let's see, it's for gold next. For the next machine. And that's called an arboretum. The next machine is for diamonds. And that gives me a logger. I need a farm that is for bronze. This is why I kept the 8 bronze in reserve. Let me go and put the last of the glass there. Farm. It was iron for the combine? Yes, iron for the combine. Now, I need a centrifuge that is 2 glass and 6 copper, like so. And that gives me a centrifuge. I won't be using the centrifuge much this episode, but I'll have it so that I can place it. Plus, it's part of forestry, and this is the forestry special episode, so might as well make it now. I'll be using it more later. Alrighty. Now, what else do I need? Appetite. But before I do that, I'm going to start... Wait a minute. I had my redstone engines in here, yes. Lots of redstone engines, because I have lots of machines to power. Stone transport pipes. Ah, yes. Now, if I can remember this correctly, I had 24 wood for some reason. Now, 24 sticks, rather. If I remember what I used the last 16.6 for, but for right now I'm going up through the gears to iron, to gold. Now I'm going to use the glass to create a diamond transport pipe. I shortchanged myself on the glass. Whoops. Now which chest has my glass in it? This one. Yeah, so it is 4 glass on the corners, 1 diamond transport pipe in the middle, 2 gold gears on the sides, and redstone torches on the top and bottom. That gives me my basic logistics pipe. Now, let me think. I'm going to grab the lapis lazuli, the glowstone, and the redstone out of here. Now, if I combine my basic logistics pipe with the glowstone, I get a crafting logistics pipe. Combine it with the lapis lazuli, I get a supplier logistics pipe. And combining it with the redstone gives me a satellite logistics pipe. I'll explain what each of those do shortly. In the meantime, now I remember what I was going to do with these sticks. So, craft up 4 gears, like so, around the crafting table. Gives me an automatic crafting table. Now, this is where I use the automatic crafting table for what it was intended for. So, next up, apatite in the middle, sand on the top and bottom gives me fertilizer. Sorry, I forgot a moment. Now, let me go ahead. If I surround this fertilizer with dirt, I get this humus. In this case, 2 stacks. The humus is going to go into the arboretum. But before I go any further, I think I want to go ahead and actually place down my peat bog. And I have the site picked out for it all the way over here. Yeah, in case you couldn't tell, I did a lot of work off camera building that castle wall. I've demarked a large area for my final stronghold. The wall is not complete. I want the peat bog. I want the turbary. So go ahead and put the peat bog there. Turbary goes next to it. That's a strange behavior. I'm not sure why it does that. It probably thinks those are related. They're not. Now let me think here. Go ahead and grab my redstone engines. I probably should have grabbed my wrench. Shift click, remember, to avoid opening up the inventory. Alright. And because the turbary has no interface, yeah. Okay, so I do need the wrench. Alright, that's fine. I'll just run back to base and get the wrench. Let me think, it was in this chest right here. While I'm at it, there was one other thing I needed to make. Oh, yes. Now I remember. And I was going to grab these 4 water buckets to do it. It won't do the job. Actually, I think I want to use the automatic crafting table for this, just because I am going to have to refill my buckets. Now, I'm trying to remember, is it in the corners? Yes. Alright. And that makes this bog earth, and that's what the peat bog relies on. Alright, I'll just make a half stack for the moment. I'll have to come back and make the rest of it up later. For right now, a half stack should do the job. Now, it's this engine down here, and that looks to be it, actually. Did I grab my chests? Of course I didn't. Alright, well, I can at least go ahead and put the bog earth in the peat bog. And actually, I'm beginning to think I should probably have kept more, cobblestone in my inventory. Ah well. I can at least start up 2 of my 4 redstone engines. I don't know if they'll be enough to actually provide any significant amount of power to this. I can change it. up later if need be. I'm just using redstone engines for the moment. Mostly because of resource issues. I am not yet in a position where I can build a system that will auto-supply a stone or combustion engine. And the peat farm will produce peat, which I can burn in a peat-fired engine, but peat-fired engines will only use peat as fuel, which means that I can't use it to start up the peat bog. Kind of a chicken and egg sort of thing. So the redstone engines, I think, are my best solution to that problem. I just realized I need to grab some cobblestone before I head back out there, so I can finish placing out the redstone torches. Cobblestone, there we go. That works. Back to my peat bog. And it looks like the engines are just starting to move. That doesn't mean that we're getting any significant amount of power to the peat bog as of yet. Like I said, I don't know if redstone engines are powerful enough for that job. But there we go. Alright. So let's go ahead and do that. And then, like so, gets all of my redstone engines started up. It's still working on it. It's probably going to be some time, I think. Let me see. Is it actually doing anything yet? Yeah, it's just starting. It's managed to plant this one block here. Now, do I want to let this keep going on camera and maybe do like a time lapse? Or would I be better off letting it go off camera and then coming? You know what? I'm going off camera, and I shall return once the peat bog has... You know what? No, before I do any of that, let me get this humus out of my hotbar. And the cobblestone, and the chest, and the bucket, and I'll set that automatic crafting table aside for the time being. I'll need that a little bit later on this episode, but not just yet. Now, let me think. Oh, right, I was going to fill these buckets up with more water and finish making the bog earth. And in case you're wondering, the automatic crafting table that I have in my inventory right now, I will use that later on. I think later on this episode, though I may not get, I'm not guaranteeing I'll get to it. That is for a system that will semi-automatically create this bog earth that I'm creating manually right now. I figure 2 stacks should be sufficient to get me started. Okay, that was pretty derpy. And now... Alright, so I'm out of that stuff, so I'm going to go ahead and put up my buckets. I also installed a mod called Inventory Tweaks. Basically, it's going to allow me to middle-click in an inventory, like a chest. That's already been sorted. See how it resorted that? Rearrange that? Yeah. And I'll likely do the same here, yes. There we go. That's one of the main things Inventory Tweaks does. There is another mod that supposedly does something similar called Convenient Inventory. I did not manage to get it to work. I couldn't manage to get it to play nicely with not enough items. So when I heard about Inventory Tweaks, and I want to say it was Direwolf20 that first introduced me to Inventory Tweaks. Yeah, Direwolf20's videos, definitely among the greats on YouTube. Definitely worth a watch. Alright, yeah, it's still trying to clear that out, so go ahead and put the rest of the bog earth up in there. Now, honestly, I think the very next thing I want to do, well, apiary first. And where should I put my apiaries? I mean, this hill is a really nice place to do it, isn't it? Yeah, and actually, let me just clear this out a bit. Yeah, clear this out a bit. Okay, so that was one bit of preparation I probably should have done. I mean, I only sorted out the siding for the peat bog at first. So, yeah, go ahead and lay out my apiaries. Now, the apiaries don't actually require redstone engines. And actually, if I destroy it, yes, I do get it back at least. So go ahead, get the apiaries back in my... Okay. Interesting. I'm trying to leave 2 spaces here. There we go. 2, 2, 2. Go and put the centrifuge in there. Now, when I open up the apiary, you see this interface, and I think it'll be easier to explain once I actually start the process. There's that icon in the upper left-hand corner that says no queen. It means that I don't have a queen in there. That metal's queen. I'm actually not going to put the queens in yet. Instead, I'm going to go around and collect some more beehives. Like this one here. And as you can see, that gave me a different type of bee, a forest queen bee. Now, as far as I can tell, the only types of bees that naturally spawn in the world are meadows and forest queens. Every other type of bee, and yes, there are other types of bees, you basically have to get through breeding. Now, it's basically your bog standard genetics. You have your dominant traits, you have your recessive traits, and there are those statistical rules that govern how they work. You also have a small chance of a mutation. I'm not going to worry about mutations yet. I don't think I'm going to see a mutation this episode. Okay, evidently I'm going the wrong way to find more beehives. So let's go ahead and return to base. Return inside here. Nice little tunnel to get back into the base from outside, I think. Sure, it needs some beautification, and I think next episode I'll probably change up the lighting a bit. But overall, not a bad tunnel, I don't think. Now, not this way. I know I had more beehives than that. Ah, yes, there's one right up here. Yep, another meadows. Ditto. It's morning. And I'm thinking, see, I know there's a swamp that way. Pine forest that way. My peat bog is still being built. Might as well collect the dirt. Yeah. Here's my preferred jumping crud. Didn't get my jump going there. I might find another forest hive in that little forest block there. Now, I did delineate between episodes where my entire set of walls was going to be. They're not all built yet. Another meadows queen, which is fine, but I'm kind of hoping for another forest queen here. And I'm having a little difficulty finding them. There is a big oil well. That's a project for a future episode. There's more of my wall there. And as you can see for this map, there's a swamp up there, there's a river down there. Now, I might in a future episode explain where exactly I built my walls and why I built my walls where I did. For right now, I'm more concerned about getting a forest beehive. Do they spawn in these? Is this a taiga biome, I think it's called? Or is this taiga or tundra? I'm not sure offhand. Well, I'm not having any luck finding one yet, unless I'm completely blind. I see another beehive, but that's meadows. I want a forest. Another meadows beehive over there. And now I'm into a more deciduous forest. Which means I'm a pretty good distance away from my main base at this point. I'm not going down that way. Oh boy. As much as I'd love to grab that meadows beehive, sorry. I think I need forest more desperately. And those grow on trees. And only on trees. Mushroom on a tree. Okay. Sure. Still not finding a beehive. No, that's not a beehive there. Aha! There's another one. Well, that's strange. Okay, well, just some random saplings hanging around, eh? And something tells me that the 8 is going to completely deplete my scoop. There are 6. I do have enough inventory space for, it looks like exactly 2 more bees. I would prefer that they both be forest. Clearly, forest beehives are not as common as meadows beehives. Well, the swamp's up this way. Maybe I'll have better luck there. Another meadows beehive. I want forest. There's one over there. Well, that's a promising sign. Yeah, and I'm pretty close to running out of health in my scoop. Just as well, I do only need 1 more bee. I'd like to be a forest. And I see a forest over there. Yes, that is the forest. Wow. A couple lava lakes around here, eh? Never noticed that before. I haven't been this way, actually, before. So, yeah. So let's go ahead and get back to my grand apiary. It's not going to be a short trip back to base. Okay, I guess it's that I haven't gone that far through the swamp, or more likely, I haven't been paying attention to where the beehive might be located there. That's the wall. I haven't decided if I'm going to build a gate there into the swamps yet or not. And if I do build a gate there, I haven't decided how. But that's a project for a future episode. As you can see, this is the wall foundation. Haven't built the actual wall yet. That section of wall has been built. That ladder there leads down into a ravine that I happened to dig into while digging out the foundations for this section of wall here. Would have helped if I jumped there. Alright. Now my apiary is on top of that hill there. So I'm going to go ahead and load the bees up into the apiaries. Alright. Go ahead and put a forest queen in there. Meadows queen up there. Forest queen. Now this top spot is for the queens. When there's a health bar here, the queens will produce stuff as their health gets depleted. When they die, they'll leave a princess and some number of drones behind. It's kind of random how many drones you get, but it's always at least one. I think it's anywhere from 1 to about, 1 to maybe 4 or 5? Yes, that's the apiary that hasn't been filled yet. So that's got a Meadows Queen to it. Alright. Let me grab my chest here. We're not getting any new peat anytime soon, I don't think. Now, what I am going to do is I'm going to go ahead and make this lip one higher up here in the middle. Just give myself a little step down in the corners. So that I can get in and out of there. Yeah, that works for me. Alright. Now, I don't recall offhand how long a Meadows or Forest Queen will last in the apiary. What do they produce, anyway? Alright, they're all complaining about a lack of flowers in the vicinity. Irk. That was a bit of a drop. So let's go ahead and just grab a few from down here. A few yellow. A few red. Make sure that they're on my hotbar, because they do need flowers to actually work. Forgot about that part. Because there aren't any flowers up here, they won't work. So let's start planting some flowers here. Just one next to each of the apiaries for the moment, and then an extra red flower there. Or, no. Not there. One over, right there. Yeah. Alright. And now their health starts to deplete, and they start producing these honeycombs. They'll have their uses a little bit later, but I'm not going to fret too much about getting honeycombs yet. That said, it looks like it's going to be quite some time before the bees run out of health. Probably won't get there this episode, so I'll have to show you that process next episode, I think. Alright. 4 redstone engines at the yellow stage, and it's still digging out the peat bog. I'm pretty sure I'm going to want to create some peat-fired engines, but again, that will be a future episode. I just won't get there this episode. But then here's the question. Without the peat-fired engines, considering how it's been going so far, I don't think I want to place anything else related to that yet. So, instead, let me think. What's the best way to do this? Do I have any smoothstone on me? No, I'll run back to my base and get some smoothstone. Alright, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to dig this pad out here. And let's see, I'm going to dig it down one further. Make sure I have easy, convenient access to the walls. Here, like so. In case you're wondering what I'm doing, this is going to be a sort of panel. An input-output panel. Basically, everything this peat bog needs and produces should come out of this panel here. Alright, let's go ahead and sort that out. Let's see. Yeah, go ahead and dig this whole layer out, actually, now that I think about it. Yeah, I know. PETA's gonna be on my arse. I'm using the British term in an effort to avoid pissing off the Americans. My audience. Let's see here. Alright, and then dig up a way to get in and out. Now, I'm also going to go ahead and dig off to the side here. Again, that's going to allow me access behind there, so that I can do what I need to do once I cover this up with stone, which I'm going to go ahead and do now. The system's going to plant the bog earth on top of this stone. Yeah, alright. So let's go ahead, dig through the middle here. Like so, yeah. Alright. Now, I'm not going to make any routing decisions as of yet as to how I'm going to route stuff in and out of this system. But I know I'm going to need to make such a decision at some point. Let me grab the rest of this dirt over here. It's a bit disappointing to say, but... And let me check my bees real quickly before I officially do this. But I think once I check on my apiaries again, after that I think it's going to be a good time to end the episode. Yeah, we're getting honeycombs. They're not even close. Also, it's night. So they're not producing anything. So... Thud. With that, I think I'm going to end the episode. This has been Industreleven episode 5. Why can't I get into the bed? Good night, everybody. This has been Industreleven. Thank you for watching. Please rate, comment, and/or subscribe.